Hi, welcome to my cozy kitchen here in Susanville, California. My name's Mindy Hilton. Today I'm going to be making spaghetti and meatballs. Growing up as a kid, my family, we lived on a budget like a lot of people do and like I do today, and we had spaghetti probably once a week because it was one of those things that my mom could fix that was easy, affordable, and my dad liked it as well as me and my brother and sister. So it's a win-win in my book, and it's something that I like to fix for my family a lot as well because of those reasons. And growing up, we always sat at this tiny little table in our kitchen, and I always wondered why we never sat at the dining room table, and it finally just occurred to me a couple days ago that my dad would not be able to see the television from the dining room, so he could still keep one eye on the game while we ate dinner. I'm sure I'm not alone in that boat. I'm sure there's other dads that were big sports fans. So that's how it was in my family. We grew up all hunched in the kitchen, eating at this one table, and we had dinner pretty much every night together. And I still remember to this very day, one night, we were having spaghetti and meatballs, and it was very casual at my house. My mom would just leave all the food on the stove. You'd make your own plate, and then you'd go sit at this tiny little table that was in our kitchen. Well, I was very excited because I always loved spaghetti and meatballs, and I had my plate totally full of spaghetti and meatballs, and I couldn't even wait to get to the table. Being a little kid, I took a big bite, and I was enjoying it as I was standing there in the kitchen, and I was telling my mom and dad how good it was. And on my way to the table, I tripped and spilled spaghetti everywhere. And I still remember the look on my parents' face. And having two little boys that make a lot of messes, I can understand where you're frustrated because now you got to stop, eating dinner and clean up this huge spaghetti mess. But I still remember a little smirk on my mom's face because she knew how bad I felt and how comical it was as I was complimenting her. I was throwing spaghetti and meatballs all over her kitchen. So I'll never forget that, and I hope that my two boys have lots of good memories like that growing up in our house. So let's get started. Okay, let's go over really quick the ingredients that we're going to be using today. We're going to be using Kraft Philadelphia Sundried Tomato and Basil cream cheese. We're going to be using some Kraft 3 cheese blend cheese bites, some Kraft parmesan, some egg substitute, some no salt added tomato sauce, some diced tomatoes, no salt added, with basil, garlic, and oregano. Our seasonings that we're going to be using are basil, parsley, chopped onions, onion powder, oregano, and garlic powder. I'm going to be using a multigrain angel hair pasta, but you could use whatever you like, a thin pizza crust, and some lean turkey meatballs. And again, you could use any type of meatballs that you like. I think we're ready. Let's get started. Okay, I've got all of my meatballs ready except for one. I wanted you ladies to see how I did this. Ladies and gentlemen, all I did was take a something you get like from the pharmacy. It's just for giving medicine to like infants, and it's clean, of course. And I'm going to I put my delicious Philadelphia cream cheese, sun-dried tomato and basil inside of there, and then I'm just going to inject some into my meatball. And I found that I just keep going until it starts to ooze out of the meatball, and that usually is about a half a teaspoon that I get in there. So after, you can see it's starting to come out. Now I'm going to take it in that pizza crust that I sliced up, and I sliced that pizza dough up into 8 sections because we're making 8 meatballs today. And now I'm going to take just 4 of those wedges of cheese, and I'm going to wrap my meatball up. And I'm not very good at wrapping. Just ask my husband at Christmas time. So if I can do this, you can do it. And you just want to wrap it up, And I leave most of the part that's like overlapping on top because it'll hopefully not leak out when we put it in the stove. And we'll have a delicious meatball that is creamy inside and gooey on the outside with cheese. And now that I've got this wrapped up, all I'm going to do is wash it with a egg wash, so it'll be nice and shiny when we bake it. And I'm going to sprinkle it with my seasonings, my oregano, onion powder, garlic powder, parsley, and basil. And then I'm going to top it with some Parmesan cheese. And then we'll put it in the oven at 400 degrees, and in just a little bit we'll have some delicious, creamy Philadelphia cream cheese meatballs. Okay, ladies, I just wanted to show you I've taken those meatballs out of the oven. Don't they look delicious? While those were in the oven, I cooked up that angel hair pasta, and then I made our sauce. And I want to show you how I made this creamy Philadelphia Sundried Tomato and Basil sauce. What I did was, the rest of our Philly, I put in this pot along with that no salt added tomato sauce and my diced tomatoes with basil, garlic, and oregano. Those were no salt as well. Basically what I'm doing, I'm on a low salt diet, or at least I'm supposed to be. So I try to cut my salt when I can. You could definitely use, if you have a favorite type of pasta sauce, you could always take your marinara that you like and mix it with that Philly. But I basically made my own, and then to keep the salt low. And then I've added my seasonings, and again I put about 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 whole teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 whole teaspoon of those chopped dried onions. And then I salt and peppered to my liking. Oops. And then I put about 1/2 teaspoon of my parsley, my basil, and my oregano. And I know you're saying, what is that sugar doing there for? I forgot to tell you in the beginning, but you are going to need 3 teaspoons of sugar just to balance out that kind of acidity that you get from the tomato sauce. And it's all creamy and ready to be put on that spaghetti. So I'm going to plate myself up a plate, and I'll meet you back in a minute. Doesn't that look so good? And my son is going to love it because it looks like it's a roll, but there's a surprise creamy Philadelphia cream cheese meatball in there. Oh, Philly, you have done it again. Thank you so much for your help. I'm going to dig in. Hopefully my face is not a mess because I couldn't resist. I already started digging in. I'm hungry. I worked up an appetite filming this video, I guess. But, oh, I wish you, let's see if I can show you this. You've got that pizza dough surrounding that meatball with the cream cheese and the mixed with that other Kraft cheese. Oh, so good. It's like a pizza, it's a meatball. It's like 2 of my favorite things, 2 of my son's favorite things, so I know he's going to love it. I cannot wait to take another bite. This is so good, and it was really easy, so I hope you guys all try it. I'm so glad that I didn't spill my spaghetti and meatballs everywhere. Sorry again, Mom and Dad. If it's any relief, I have messes that I'm cleaning up all the time with your 2 grandsons. But until next time, I hope you all have just a good old time in the kitchen with your families. I know I will. Bye.